All right, it's been a moment, but I've got a new video for you, and we're trying out some new things on the upcoming PeakMonsters. New changes. So, the biggest change you're going to see is when you click on this magnifying glass, there is now two options, group or single. Single's the old way. Group is the new way. It will group large quantities together. Let me actually show you something kind of fun. Let's go to not just legendaries, but commons, because this is the most ridiculous one. Let's take Pellicore Deceiver, for example. There are, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of cards. There's a lot of Pellicore Deceiver, so it's going to take a moment. But if we go down to the cheapest cards, the 1 cent cards, there's 28,000. Because the cheapest you can list a card for is 1 cent. So, and then the second cheapest is obviously 1.1 cents. So there's 28,900 at that price, and you can just go in here and select 150, click this button, and it will add it. So I've actually got a few cards here that, you know what, I can just delete this. I'll show you that process again. One thing that we're hoping to do is make it go above this number. But you click here, it's 150 is the present limit. So if you'd like to see that go up, it's going to take a little bit of work, but it should be, uh, it should work, you know. So one thing here is with the price of DEC climbing and climbing, there are some pretty good opportunities for CP, you know, based on that. This isn't one of them. 1,787 to get 750. Let's actually delete that. It defaults price by BCX, right? So one fun thing is if I took this 400 card, just added it to, then I'm getting 2,100 CP for 2,600 DEC. That's actually pretty good. And I really enjoy the compare by price above burn. That 1.43 is very, very telling. Now, one thing we want to do is remove common, just remove everything, refresh this, and we're going to find the best differential of all time. Not of all time, but right now. And we look here, it's 018. Now, that 018 may be already gone. Now, there are a 019. A 019 is kind of a 1.13. So it's like basically around 13%, around 13% above the burn value. So if you look here, the card price is 22 DEC, but the CP, meaning if you were to burn this card, you get 20. So you kind of have a built-in, I'm going to spend 22.7, but I know that it's going to be worth at least 20. So there's a lot less risk there. Now there's 71 of these, so I can just grab all 71. I'm going to delete that Pellicore Deceiver. So 1,600 DEC, but I'm getting 1,420, which means I can burn these and get 1,420 back, or obviously have the card. So it's just kind of a lower risk item. And I actually just went in and grabbed those. So this is a faster way to kind of sweep the floor. You can look at these other price by BCX type things as well. Now, what's also different in the group? We're not showing like in singles. We show the card ID and the seller. We don't have those here, so we're able to add in a couple columns. And one of these is the rental yROA. In this case, based on the average rental return for a card at level and the specific market price. Now, the specific market price, as you can see, is over here, 0.19, or in this case, 0.038, and the average rental return. So now let me show you if you go down to active rentals, if you have premium, I believe you have access to, well, I know you have access to this. You have premium. Pretty sure that's the only way you have access. But um, when I get recording, things seem to slow down. This is usually extremely fast, and obviously I get recording and things. Oh, I just refresh and it's in there. So if we go to reward cards and let's look at modern cards and stuff like that, and just let's just look at regular. Obviously, you may notice some differences here. Foil type, a little bit interesting. It's just laid out a little bit better. The whole entire filter section is laid out a little bit better because we've also added in a new one, mana. So you can look for those 1 mana cards, the 2 mana cards, or like 3 and lower, 3 equal or lower. And then ability has always been there, but it's got its own little section up here if you want to look for specific abilities. In any case, the reality is that we are looking at the all time frame. Every card, so all 77. Now let's say if it's a level 1 legendary. Let's click on legendaries. Level 1 legendary, you've got 6.9 all the way down to 8.6. So, and that's a large range from someone insanely is renting out an ancient lick for 0.8 DEC a day, while someone else is getting 14.9. And these are not just pie in the sky, these are happening. They are right now happening. Someone is right now is paying 0.8 DEC and robbing some owner. And then someone else is paying 14.9 and getting robbed by an owner. In the end, the average is 6.9, which is in this case pretty close to the median, which is the 50th percentile. Now, all those numbers don't really have to mean much. I enjoy talking about them, of course, but let's go back to the price above burn, and we are looking at maybe the cheapest ones in the market, of course. And if we look at the hard clause, we can kind of go, okay, we've got a 706 per BEC, or we got 0.732 for a 1 BCX card. Now, if you, I kind of want to open up a second window so I can show you side by side here. Let's go down to the active rentals. Let's click the legendary, reward, modern, regular, and let's look at Harclaw. And we are looking at level 1. I mean, the average is 8.87 DEC, 0.87, which is, if you go by the CP per DEC, it is essentially the second worst. But even at the second worst, because of the fact that it's so cheap, you're looking at a 36% return on asset if you were to rent at the 0.86. Is that what it was? 0.86? I could do the, all right, 0.876. I could do the math for you right here. Let's do 0.876. So let's go to google.com. Let's say 0.876 times 365. That's 319 DEC over the course of a year. So how much does this cost? 871 DEC, and you would be getting 319. 871. So now let's divide it by 871. What do we get? 367. 367. It is exact. I didn't even plan this in advance. I'm doing testing right now, so I can just tell you this is exact numbers. These are provably correct, and you can always go over here and look to see that 18,000 Har claws are being level ones are being rented out at this present moment with a range from 7 down to 0.1. Now you could just set it up at 0.87 and you're getting 30% return on asset, assuming that it continues for 365 days. But it gets better at the 80th percentile, which is where I tend to put my cards in when I'm renting them out. The 80th percentile is 1. So that's essentially over 13%, at least 13, I think it's 13% better than this. So in any case, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So you could go in, this is what I'm saying. One cool thing that you can do is just kind of go in here, look for some cards and go, is 36% good? Well, I don't know. Is it better than this one? 35%? I don't know. Like it's a little bit lower. How about the Jared Scars? Oh, how about this? 64%. 64%. You could go over here and look at the fact that 3,000 of them are being rented out, and it is essentially it's almost 3 times better rental rates. And the 80th percentile is even much higher than the 2.8. So the average, which this uses average, it says it right there, based on average rental, not median, but the average is pretty high. So if you were to buy it at $1.34, it's 64%. Now, if you were to go down here and buy this one for $1.54, it's still 56%. So you can just click, you can put in a number 5 and click. Now all 7 of them are in there. You can obviously still go to the single method here and do those sorts of things. So I'm going to kind of sweep it from $1.34 all the way to $1.40, and I am going to pull the trigger on that. So a couple things to think of. Do you want to buy, like, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can use all of these compare modes to make really interesting decisions. So I really do like the 60 percenters there. Let's see if any of the others, oh, you got 70%. Now on a level 4 Countess Sinash, 63%. Now you could go over here, change this to a level 4, and there's 143 of these being rented. 119 is the average DEC. There, 104, so it's a little bit better at level 3, because the lower this number, essentially the better. It's up higher at level 2, so maybe even the sweet spot seems almost like it is level 1's at 87. So just a couple of interesting things that you can check out, which makes sense because this is a lower price per BCX than this level 1 card, but it's a higher yROA. So this is solid. So 70 percenters. Let me grab a few of these. And again, if you're used to the single method, that is still very much available to you. So the price above burn starts going way up here. What is I mean, these ones, we got 60%, which is very interesting. That card that's been out so long and is so heavily populated is that high. We got a 50% here. 9, 10%. I mean, we are going way up in price, so it's going to be hard for it to be as competitive. So I mean, if you look at something like this, 43 times higher than burn, the yROA is just 3%. So people really do like the card. I think it's a good one, I suppose. You could do the same thing with epics. You could go down the line in reward cards, in Rift Watchers, anything you would like there. Let's take a look here. 40s, 30%. Nothing too exciting there, but there's less risk, of course, when you're this low in the price above burn. Okay. Now, 40s, 30%. How about we go up to the yROA? 58%, 56%, a much more popular card to rent. Level 2s seem to be going for even a little bit better. So you could just buy these level 1 BCX cards and then combine them to a level 2. Level 2s seem to have a pretty good return. Um, oh, sorry. I am just boring myself to death. Let's see here. 15%. So this is kind of a new thing. We'll definitely have to look into a way to help you find these a little bit faster instead of going through it all like I'm doing right now. Now the Tide Biter at 43% with this low differential is actually quite interesting. Now there are 20 quantity here. Oh, it would actually be kind of fun to click here on the quantity and have it add the total quantity over there. That's just an idea. Just thinking of now. So I'm going to grab almost all of these and put them both in the cart. So we got some Tide Biters. And let's see what the revealer is going to give us. Loading, 40%, 50% on the level 2s. Let's do it. Let's grab 100 of these revealers. Boom. Now I'm below the 150 limit. I'm going to grab those. So really helpful right now with the current price being at 884 essentially here. Well, it's 00084, which is really cool. Now you could find Chaos Legion cards with unique opportunities for rentals. We're looking just at the epics. Let's unclick it and see what we got here. I like starting from the lowest in the differential of price above burn because there's the least amount of risk because it's the card itself, even if it became entirely useless in gameplay, could just be burned. Now, being useless in gameplay isn't the end of the world because it still provides CP value, and then they'll still be able to work the land when that comes out. That is the guess there. Any case, 19 percenters, not so great on the Zyax. 18%, 20%, 10 to 20, 30%. Got a couple of 40%. And now it makes sense because you got 0.067 and then quickly goes up to 0.070 and then jumps again pretty quickly. Not too many cards. You could just, like, let me show you. I could just kind of sweep this pretty quickly. Let's add that one. Let's add that one. Let's add these 12. Now the price is at 0.07. Well, as soon as I click on this, one of those is going to be, oh, I'm buying 12 of them at $5.50 a piece, where the yROA is 16% on these level 6s. So we are going to not buy those ones. That actually is a little concerning that that the yROA goes down so much at level 6. It seems like level 6 is, or what level was it that was having problems? Yeah, level 6. Interesting. Now even level 2 is unique there. So now how many portal spinners? Let's go here, Chaos Legion, and rare cards. How many portal spinner layer level 1s are being rented? You could almost just, oh, you can't sort these columns yet, but it's like the least rented of all of the cards, which is hilarious. The least rental of all of the Chaos Legion rare cards, I should say. So not terribly interested, but then again, I've only got 74 cents in the wallet, so that's fine. What else we got in here? 18, 19%. Oh, wait, there is interesting. Level 1 cards are a very high yROA, but as a 2-cent card, what is the likelihood? We go here to commons. How many hardy stonefish? 17,000 of them, with 38,000 of them presently available, with prices down to 0.96, 0.096 to be exact. So kind of, common cards are a little bit rough to roll with. Now, look for level 3s. Yeah, not too amazing there. Let's do rares and epics here. I mean, you go up towards the top of the most popular ones. Kelly is a very expensive card, and yet still able to bring in something like a 35 to 36 ROA on that sort of. So Obsidian, 30%. So you just want to kind of find like some killer deals. 20% aren't nearly as good. 13, 16, 20 to 28, 45. If you get this maxed out one, 40 for the not, 39s. Level 2s, not so good of a price. Of course, the price does go up 10 cents, which is almost 10% higher. So that is an interesting aspect of it all. Let's see here. Wave Brood, 46%, $96 for the card. Rund, 9%. I mean, you are looking at the most expensive of them. What if we just looked at legendary cards? So what about the Grandmaster, most expensive of the legendary cards? 24% down to 6%, so not so great. Going the other direction for lower price cards, they're lower price, but the return isn't very good on them. 7 to 14%. Let's see, 22 to 33%. So that one's promising. 1819, Scorched Fiend. Combined ones aren't as good, but then you can grab let's grab a couple of these Fiends. They look like they're renting out at a decent rate. The Gins, 16%, 36%. So the Fiends are pretty decent. Look, this level 1 is below the cost of this level 3. It's 33%. Oh, we're just going to add the 1. Now, what about the Grum? That'll be interesting. 16%. So not like crazy. We still got these Fiends, level 1s, are doing quite well. The Bakjira, level 1, doesn't do very well. 7%. How about the Carnage Titan? 5%. Every step you go up gets a little bit more expensive, right? E7, yeah. So, I've gone through the Rift Watchers, and maybe there's some interesting opportunities over here. Save 7 to 8%, 19%. And you've seen the math. You know that this is how this works and the accuracy of how it's working. I see a lot of opportunities in the reward cards because of how cheap they are. What do we got? Just not really working out too well to find too many. Let's go take a look at this one. 7%, 7%, 47 on these ones on level 2s, but the level 1s are 14%. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on that sort of thing. How about this one? 23% across the board for level 1s. Let's see the Mycelic Infantry. 27. All right, 32%. So the River Nymphs, everything from 8 to the level 1s at 26% still. I don't know. Seems not too bad. So I'm going to add all, 5 of these. Just kind of searching for, oh, this one already got sold in the meantime. Searching for some cards to get so I can rent them out. And showing off a few different ways of doing different things. So you got some cool stuff now when you're buying cards, and you know that you can buy a ton of them all at once as well. Like 150 right at a time, maybe sweep the floor. Meaning grab a bunch of the cheapest of the cards. So I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes. I'm starting to get pretty tired, and I have a lot more I'd like to show. Some more things to maybe buy. Maybe this goes up even higher tomorrow. Just wanted to kind of jump in and grab some cards. Again, this is a recap. Let's just refresh this whole entire page. And let's go to price above burn, 107.018. Now, when we checked it earlier, none of the .018s were showing. The lowest was 0.019, which is the same thing again, which in the reality it's going to be 1.13. So between all of these 1.13s, which one is the most interesting? Maybe the Naga Assassin. And how many are at the 0.19? Well, 207, and then it moves to 0.020. So I think actually I'm going to grab 150 of these real quick. Boom, and done. And the Twilight Basilisk also, I think, is pretty good. Looks like there's only 87 of them. I'm going to grab 86, actually, at that rate. So I'm going to spend 1,937 to get 1,720 guaranteed DEC, but cards on top of them as well. So thought I'd show that little thing. Now, what's the cheapest legendaries? Well, there you go. One thing is we haven't looked at any of the golds. Let's see what the returns on those are. Getting interested again on a few different things. What about the Jared Scar? 20% on those. So you're going to spend 25,000 to get a card that's a guaranteed 12,500 TEC. So it's that's the 2.3 there. 19%. Let's check out the Countess Sanash. 18%. So the returns on some of these aren't working out to be specifically amazing. We should have a compare mode eventually. Let's just release this first functionality. That really makes these 20 to 30 after looking at how many we already looked at. The 35% are pretty good. And the Jared Scars at 56% are starting to look even better. And it's just the differential's pretty low when you're considering that you're looking at every single regular foil legendary, and Jared Scar is this close to the bottom, and has the 50-something% on quite a few of these. So we are going to kind of sweep up a few of these. We're going to grab these 9, and we get $18 of these cards in there, with the return being pretty decent right now. So definitely the lowest cards, 70% are so good. And even the 11 BCX opportunity is pretty dang good. Look at the price difference in between these two. I think I'm just going to grab it. $23 card, but kind of seems worth it. All right. 73%. Yeah, let's grab them. Now there's going to be 51 of these at $249. So kind of goes up quite fast from $214 to $241. But we're here for it. Some fun ways to buy cards. Now, when I upload this, there'll be some new opportunities for you, and now you'll see some different ways of how to use some of these tools. And have a good day.